Hi friends, welcome back to our channel with a new video. In today's video, we will be tackling the hands-on part of T13 Informatica from Fresco Play. Without wasting any more time, let's get right into this topic. The course ID for the Informatica mini project is 79937. So simply go to the evolve, launch the course, and it will redirect you to the Fresco Play where you can launch the course again. Okay, here you can observe if you are new to this course, it will ask you to enroll here, or if you have already enrolled, it will be showing it like resume. As I have recently completed this course, so it's showing like revisit the course. You just click here and it will take you to the course ID, and where you can click the launch button here. For me it's retry, so it will be showing like launch for you, so just click on the launch, proceed. So it will take for a while to open the environment, a virtual machine environment where we can have all the softwares installed, and the problem statements were also available to solve the hands-on part. So give a little time for the environment to load. So this is the virtual environment what we have. So here we have all the project folders and all the softwares that we need to solve this. So this is the project folder, the SQL developer, where we need to create tables and all the repository stuff. And these are the Informatica Power Center softwares, repository, workflow monitor, and workflow manager. Okay, these are all the softwares what we need to solve this. So first, let's get into the project folder. And here we have the folder, and here you can see three files. The first one is the problem statement. Second one is the sample test, which we will use it at the end of this exercise, and the superstore data. This is the data file where we need to upload it into the SQL developer. So first open this problem statement. So here, just zooming out a little. Close it. So now open the SQL developer. It will take a little time to load. You have to be patient, and the time for the time to complete this exercise is around 2 hours. It will just take 1 hour to 1.5 hours. And about the credentials, like while creating the databases or while connecting the databases to the softwares require some credentials, and those credentials will be were already mentioned here in the project file. I mean the problem statement file. Here you can see there's a username, system and admin, and there are several different usernames while connecting it or while creating it. So please just go through them. So here we need to connect to the admin. So it asks for a password. So we know. So username is system and the password. Just double click, copy it, Control C, and just paste it. Okay, if sometimes the typing isn't works, just hit tab button for a while, so then we can type something. Just type admin. So let it load. Okay, we are connected to the admin. Now we need to create tables for our exercise. So this is the first raw table. So the table name superstore. I recommend you to copy paste everything. So I have selected all the table rows. I mean the columns, just paste them. That's it. Just run the table. Superstore. It's created. Again, copy this table. Enter. Firstly, it's better to create all the tables. Okay, I think we have five. We need five different tables for this assessment. So this is the task one. Copy it. Actually, the thing I wanted to mention to you is I'm not doing any tutorial. I'm just trying to make this course for you to bypass these assessments. So it's not any course video that will teach you how to work with this informatica and all. Just a video where you can look into this video and you could do the stuff. So now we have created all the required tables. They're mostly the superstore, the primary table, and the superstore clean data, sales summary, order analysis, and geography analysis, and order processing. These are the target tables where we need to do the data processing, and the final data will be uploaded into these target tables. So just hit commit after creating the tables. The commit is completed. Store, Control C, paste, Control V, so summary, Control C, Control V, oops, V, the processing, Control C, Control V. That's it. So these are the columns which we have in this superstore table, and the table is completely empty. Now we will import the sample file into this table. So here is the superstore table. Just right click on this and hit import data. Click on browse, and the dataset was available in the desktop project folder. This is the project folder, and this is the superstore data.csv file we have. Hit open. Click next, 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 and we have a problem with the order date and ship date format. So the format is in the date format is in DD, and YYY. So this is the format. So correct the format and hit enter and click finish. So it will take a bit time in importing. Here you can say the data has been imported. Okay. So now you can see we have the data here. Now it's time for us to work with Informatica. Okay. So first open the Power Center repository where we need to connect our database to this. So it will have access to all the source tables and target tables. Okay. And here connecting to the repository, we have a username administrator and password is also same. Just copy it and paste it and hit connect. Now it got connected to our database, and create a new folder called Superstore. So where all our actions can be saved into this folder, and folder has been created successfully. Now click designer. You can navigate from here. You can navigate through the designer, workflow manager, or workflow monitor from here itself. This would be easy. So click designer. So it will take you to the Informatica designer. The designer where we can create all the workflow related stuff, the ETL processes, the data transformation. So it is the landing page. The top you can see the source analyzer, target designer, transformation, and the maplets and mapping designer. So first create a mapping in the mapping designer. Click mapping, create a mapping. Just it's better for you to copy paste all the titles from the PDF itself, so it won't like if you gave some map of cleaned data, copy it, paste it. So if you have committed any spelling mistake at the end while running a sample test, it won't take, no, because it's a case sensitive. So now in the source analyzer, click sources, click import from databases. So here we need to create an ODBC connection. Click on this ellipsis, click add, and select Oracle Wire Protocol and finish. Here it asks for some data source name. It's Oracle. The host is localhost, port number 1521, and ZXC. If you ask me how do we know all this stuff, these details were already given in the here in the instructions file. The data source name is Oracle, host localhost, port 1521, SID XC. So just go through this and you will find all the details and what to fill and where to fill. So just hit enter. So we have created new ODBC connection. Now select that ODBC connection and the username is system, password is admin, where A is capital, and hit connect. So we can connect all the tables what we have created. If we go deep down, we have you can observe the superstore and superstore clean data. Just select these both tables. These are enough for sources. So we have got the superstore and superstore clean data. Superstore is the primary table where we need to refine it and connect it to the superstore clean data target table, and the superstore clean data table will be used for further tasks. Okay, now click on target designer, click targets, again import from database, again ODBC data source as Oracle, username as system, password as admin, system tables. Now bring up all the target tables what we have created. It's mostly the order analysis, order processing, and there will be some geography. Yeah, here geography analysis. If you go deep down, we have the sales summary, superstore cleaned data. These are the target tables. Hit and okay. Okay, we have got the target tables. Now let's start creating the transformations. Just click on the mapping designer, bring up the sources what we have brought. The superstore, it's a primary one. It's better to use mouse. So now let's get into the instructions manual. So this is the first task. We have data cleaning. The mapping name should be map of cleaned data, workflow clean data, session clean data, and target table. We have already created the target table, superstore clean data. Now these are the operations we need to do. Okay, first one is remove duplicates from the data set to ensure data integrity, and next filter records where United States to focus the domestic orders. Okay, first let's clear the duplicates. So for duplicates we need to sort this for a distinct values. So this is the sorter transformation. Click on the sorter transformation here and just click on the workspace. So that will bring up the sorter transformation. Then click on a row, right click and select all. So you can select all the columns that are available in this source qualifier. Just drag and drop. That's it. So all the columns from the source qualifier will be dropped into the sort transaction. Now open, double click on the sort transaction, rename it something of your values, hit OK, and in the properties just select the distinct option here and hit apply. So this will clear all the duplicates. and just allow only the unique values in your table. Now the second one what we have is filter records where country is United States. Okay, now we need to use a filter transformation. This is the filter transformation. Click, hit, select all, drag and drop. Okay, the filter transformation we need to give the condition for the country. Hit on properties, and here the condition we need to give condition space. Just click on ports and double tap on countries. It gives you the countries field. Hit click equal to United States. So that's it. Click on validate. So it will validate if there are any errors in your SQL expression. So there are no errors. Expression passes successfully. Click OK. Then OK again and hit apply. OK. So now we have sorted the data. We have filtered the data. Now it's time for the third one. What is it? Concatenate customer ID and customer name with a hyphen in the middle. Create a unique identifier for each customer. Structure and store it in column ID name. Okay, now what we need to do is we have a customer ID and a customer name. Here you can see the customer ID we have and the customer name. What they want to do is they want to concatenate both of these columns into a single column called customer ID name. In that where we'll be having only the numerical part of the customer ID with an hyphen followed by the customer name. So in order to attain this, we need to use an expression transformation and drop it here. In expression transformation, we need to create ports for these two new fields. It all drag and drop. Forgot to rename this. You don't need to rename these, but renaming will helps you to identify what are the transformations you have used in this workflow. So that's all. It's a single bit one. So I'm using 1, 2, 3. I mean, like for this is the first mapping I have created, so I am using 1. For the next mapping, I am using 2, followed by this transformation. So that would be as a reminder. So these are the ports what we have. So I am going to create 2 new ports. So click here, and this button will add a new port to the transformation. So I'm clicking it twice for 2 new ports. So first one I will be renaming it as some vnum, where it will extract the only numerical part from the customer ID. And the second one I will be renaming it as cust ID name. Okay, where we will be concatenating both the numerical part of customer ID and the name. Okay, this will be some end string. This is also end string. So precision 50. This is also precision 50. Okay. The major important part is this vnum is I'm opting it as a variable part, and this customer ID is just an output part. Okay, make sure the vnum is a variable and the customer ID name is an output. And here you should enter your SQL formula. Vnum is to extract the numerical part from the customer ID. The formula is reg replace open brackets and customer ID space this one 029 and this one comma. That's it. So this is the formula. You should be entering it correctly, otherwise you will encounter an error. So just click on validate, expression passes successfully, and hit OK. So this formula will take out the numerical part from the customer ID. Now just concatenate this with the customer name. So we have the numerical part from the customer ID vnum, and use 2 pipes symbol for concatenation, and that should be concatenated with an hyphen in the middle, and again 2 pipes customer name. So that's done. Click apply and OK. Now we have got all the columns required for customer ID, sorry, the target table. So click on target. So these are all the target tables what we have created. Now we need to export this data into this superstore cleaned data. Okay. So we can see the columns here because we have already created columns while creating these tables. So just attach these to these. So I'm clicking on row ID and holding my shift and clicking on ship mode. So these four were selected and drag and drop to row ID. So these four columns will be linked to these four columns in this target table. Now this is the customer ID name column what I have created. I'm dragging this to customer ID name in this target table. Now you just attach all these columns to the columns in this target table. You are done. Just right click, arrange all. So you can see these are the transformations you have created. Okay, and click on save. And you can see there's a valid symbol in the output, which means your transformations were valid. So you can go for your further step. If it isn't showing any invalid, so you should check with your transformations and connections. Only then you can further go for workflow. Now you need to create a workflow for these things to execute. So just click on this W symbol here, which will redirect you to Workflow Manager software. Now just click on OK. Expands it. Now before creating the workflow, we need to connect this to our server. So click on Connections, Relational, click New, click Oracle, click OK. So the username is system, password is admin, connection string is XC. So you have these details available in the instructions folder. So for not to waste time, I am entering this directly. Click OK. Close. So now we have connected this workflow manager to our database. Now click on Workflow Designer, where you can work with your workflows here. You can create or you can start your workflow from here. Click on Workflow Designer, click Workflow and create a new workflow. Open this. So you have these titles. Just copy this one, Control C, paste it here and hit OK. So you have created a workflow. Now you need to create a session. For creating session, click on the task developer, click on task, create, and copy the task one. So double clicking on this text will help you to select the text. Click here, paste it, create, and this session is linked to this map of clean data. Every session or every session you create here has to be linked with some mapping what you have, the mapping what you have done in the designer part. So previously we have designed this mapping here. You can see mapping dot clean data. So I am linking this session to this map. Click done. So this is the session we have created. This is the workflow we have created. Now we need to link our target and source tables to this session. Just double click on this. This will open the edit task table. Click on mappings. So click on connections. Here we can connect our target and source tables to this mapping. This is the source connection value. Click here. So this is the connection we have already made previously in the workflow manager. Select Oracle and click OK. Same way, select Oracle and click OK. We are selecting relational and Oracle because so this will be different for a different kind of operations. Like as we are working with relational databases, we are selecting Oracle here, or if you're working with flat files or something, there will be some different operations. You can be connecting it with your different databases and you can select them. So that's a different part. Let's just be up to this one. So you can see these are the transformations what I have used in this mapping. So in the target table, I want to enable this option. So truncate target table option. So this helps in clearing all the previous data if we are running this multiple times. Let's say if I have run this operation and it was successful, but there are some errors. So I need to run it again to attain it clearly. Like just click it and hit apply. Click OK. So now your mapping has been connected properly to your task, and now go to the workflow designer. Click here the sessions. Just drag and drop it here. Click on this linking button. Just link these both. Now right click on this, validate. It's valid. Refresh, and don't forget it to save. So now the mapping was done, the session was created, and workflow design was also created, and everything is valid. Now what you need to do is to start the workflow. Click on workflows and hit start. It will take you to the workflow monitor where you can see what your mapping has done to the data what you have connected. So click on the session clean data, drag it a little, drag it a little. So these are source and target statistics. So here you go, it went fine. So we have given 1000 rows as an input, and we have got 990 rows as an output, crossing all the unique and the filtered options. So now you can go to the SQL developer, select this and run this. You can see the data was imported. Okay. And the customer ID name, we have created this column using an expression transformation where the numerical part from the customer ID is concatenated with the customer name. Okay. So we have got our first task done. So let's move to the next task. Again, head to the designer, click on mappings, create a new mapping. Again, go to the instruction file, map of sales summary, copy it, paste it, click OK. The mapping design. From now on, you need to work on Superstore clean data. So Superstore clean data will be the primary source file for you for the next operations. So drag it a little. So in this sales summary, what we need to do, let's go through is summarize the sales data by calculating sum of sales and store it in a total sales, and average sales, store it in average sales column. We need to create two sales for each customer using customer ID name. So these should be grouped by a customer ID name. And then order the summarized date in descending order based on total sales. Now we need to order them in a descending order, which means sorting based on the total sales. And then filter the customers with total sales greater than 3000 and average sales greater than 300. Now we need to filter this as well, and then drop all the unnecessary columns. Okay, so that's it. We need to do 3 operations to the second task, and this will be the final table: the customer ID, total sales, and average sales. Okay, the final table is just for a reference, that may be varying at the end of the process. So head to the designer. So the first one is we need to create total sales and average sales. So for that you need an aggregator transformation. So this is the aggregator transformation. Select all, drag and drop. Okay. Sorry, I think you don't need all these. Don't need all these. You just need to, as you just need to work on sales and customer ID, you can just drag the customer ID column into it and the sales column into it. Only these two will work. because the total sales and average sales can be created just using the sales, and you need to use customer ID name for a reference for each thing. Okay, these are the ports we have. So now create two new ports for a total sales and an average, creating as tot sales, and the next one as AVG sales. Okay, I don't need to worry about the naming conventions in these transformations. Why? Because at the end you will be connecting these to the target tables. Okay, so both are the output ports, the total sales. Click on this button and you need a total sales, so it's a sum of sales. Close the brackets and validate. And here in the average sales as well, just give average of sales. This is the formula, and validate. Click OK and group by customer ID. So this is the most important one. If you forget it, it won't work. Okay, so now hit apply and click OK. So you're done with your aggregator. I mean, we have created the total and average sales column. Now order the summarized data in descending order based on total sales. So we need to summarize the data in a descending order, which means we need to use a sorter transformation. Drag all those into the sorter transformation. Forgot to rename this GG2 to because it's our second task. And here in the sorter SRT2, hit enter. And in the port, select total sales as the sort key, so you can enable the direction. Just instead of ascending, select descending. So now the data will be sorted in a descending order based on the sort key. So this is the sorter transformation. And next what we need to do is filter the customers with total sales greater than 3000 and average sales greater than 300. So for this we need to use a filter transformation. This is the filter transformation and drop. And all we need is a customer, total sales and average sales. Just these three columns are enough. Hit change to FL2. That's it. And in the ports, no need to do something in the ports. In the filter and sorter, we need to work with the properties. At the filter condition, click on this button and give the formula like total sales greater than 3000 and average sales greater than 300. Validate. Okay, it's passed successfully and click OK. Hit apply and OK. Now it's done. We have aggregated, we have created two new columns, total sales and average sales, and we have sorted them and we have filtered them. Now it's time for the target table. So sales summary. So this is the target table sales summary. Just drag and drop and connect these three. Select all. We have connected them. So it's perfect. And click on repository and save. So it's valid. Okay. Now go to the workflow. Create a new workflow. Create workflow sales summary. Control C. Control V. Enter. And click on task developer and create a new task. Create session sales summary. Create and link this to the map of sales summary and done. So just click it and drag a little. So this one is the previous session we have created for clean data, and this is the fresh one what we have created for sales summary. Double click on it, click on mapping, click on connections, give the connections. Don't forget to give the connections. Without giving connections you can't connect it to your source and target tables, and you can't observe what have executed. Okay, and select targets, select this option, okay, hit apply. We are done with this. Click on workflow designer, drag your task here, link it, validate, it's valid, okay, and you can directly save it. Perfect. And start your workflow. So you can click on the workflow monitor and you can see this is the new session created here. Double click on it and you can check 990 tables. This is the superstore clean data table. It has 990 rows. You are aware of it. And after the process, after the transformations, the final data is just of 16 rows here. Go to the SQL developer, select sales summary, run it. So these are all the 16 rows we have. Okay, the second task was successfully completed. Now let's go to the third one, create a new mapping. So I hope you understand the flow already. We need to create a mapping, we need to create transformations properly, and then we need to go for workflow manager and then monitor. So map of order analysis, copy, paste it. Okay, now bring out the source table, which is superstore clean data. Okay. So I recommend you to use mouse instead of touchpad. That would be a better easy. So now in this, let's go to the instructions and read what we have for this. Okay, filter the records for customers in category office supplies and city in San Francisco to analyze local customer behavior. Create a new column order count. Calculate the count of order for each customer to determine the order frequency. And then sort the result by order count in descending order to identify the most frequent buyers and drop the unnecessary columns. So these are the three operations we need to perform on this. So first one is filtering the records where category is office supplies and city is San Francisco. Let's do it. Bring a filter one. So I just want you to take out what are all the necessary columns from this source table instead of picking up all the tables. Okay. So we have a category. We need to take up a category, city, and customer ID as well. Okay. And for order count, we need to take up order date. Order date, customer ID, city, and category. So you can pick up every single one, or you can multi-select. Here we have brought up customer ID, category, city, and order date. So let's transform this. You rename it as FLT3, enter. And in the properties, give the SQL expression for this filter, where category equal to office supplies. Double click on category equal to office supplies. And city equal to San Francisco. Make sure you don't put up any spelling mistakes, or you can copy paste them from the table here. Okay, like let's say superstore, we have the city here. Somewhere you can find San Francisco. Yeah, you can copy paste it. Okay, you can do that way as well. So validate it, successful. Okay, apply, and okay. Now we have filtered this data. Now we need to create a new column, order count, and calculate the count of orders for each customer. We need to group them. For this, we take up aggregator. Just select all, drop them, rename AGG3. Enter. The ports, we need to create a new column, right? Select here. Say, let's name it order count. That's an output port and it's an integer. Okay, we are counting it by order date. Okay, validate on OK, and we need to group it by customer ID, which is very important. So the aggregate is perfect. Click on OK. Now the last one. Sort the result by order count in descending order to identify the most frequent buyers and get only top 10 records. Okay, we need to sort it in descending order and get only top 10 records. Okay. So now let's bring up the rank transformation as it have asked for the top 10. Now what are all the things, the final things what we need in this table is customer ID name and just order count itself. So drag the customer ID name, order count, that's it. The rank key should be order count here. You select this one. So it will be filtering it based on the order count. And in properties, select bottom, hit 10. Click apply, OK. Let me make sure. Okay, top 10 records. So let's rechange it to the top 10. Hit OK. And it's time for it to tag it to the target table order analysis. So link it to the customer ID, order count to the order count. Okay, we have done it. Save this. Go to the workflow. Create a new workflow. Workflow of order analysis. Copy, paste, enter. Okay, there's an issue. Space is not allowed. I think there's a space here. Okay, done. Enter. We have created the workflow and now it's time to create a task. Task create in the session. Just copy paste the session. Control C. I think we need to add one more transformation, like a sorting transformation. I'm not sure. Let's check. After this workflow, we'll get some output, right? Then we'll decide whether to add it or not. Map it to order analysis. Click OK. Click tab. New order analysis task has been created. Double click. So as usual, make connections. Oracle. Okay. This one as well. Oracle. Okay. And the target table, I'm selecting this truncate as well again. So this will help me now if there is any wrong. Okay, now go to the workflow designer, bring up the order analysis, link the both, click, validate, lead, repository, save, workflows, start the workflow. So let's see what's going to happen. Click on monitor, sales summary, in this the order analysis. On it, it's successful, and we have the 10 records. Perfect, as it have asked for. So now let's get to the SQL developer. Select this order analysis. Okay, we have these 10 records. So just let's look at to the final table. What is it? Okay, German Patrick. Okay, for your reference, both are matching. Okay. Okay. Now the third one was also done. Let's go to the next task, which is geography analysis. Copy it. Go to designer, mapping, new one, copy paste. Sorry, I think it isn't copied. Copy, good, paste. Perfect. Now drag the source onto this. Now let's see what are the operations it needs. Filter the records for customers in state California. Okay. Group customers by region based on their locations. Okay. Calculate the count of customers in each region. Okay. Drop the necessary columns. Again, we have three different tasks to do. So first one is filtering the records based on the state. So let's add a filter. So what are all the things it needs? So let's check what are all the columns it need. It need customer ID, state and region. Okay, these are the three things it need, and we need to develop this region order column later. And in the filter, change it to 54. Enter. In the properties, just change the filter. I mean, add the expression state equal to California. Click on quotes, state equals California. That's it. Validate. Click OK. Just click apply. OK. Okay. Now we have filtered the data regarding state condition. The next one, group customers by region based on their locations. We need to group customers. For grouping something, we need to use aggregator. Okay. Just click on aggregator transformation, add that to it, bring up all the stuff. On it, rename AGG3, sorry, 4, enter. So let's create a new port here, which will be the region order count. So I'm giving a short form, odd count, which will be an output port. We need to change the expression. The formula will be the count of customer ID name. So this will count how many customers were there in that region. Okay, validate it. Okay, and we need to group it up by customer ID name. So it was mentioned here. Okay, group customers. Okay, so we have grouped the customers by region, and we have calculated count of customers in each region. Okay, we have grouped it, and we have created a new port as well. So that's an integer. Sorry, grouping should be done through the region. Customers by region here. The grouping should be done for the region, not customers. Just remove this. Okay, and we have created the new port where it will count the number of customers in each region. Okay, enter. We got this. Now it's time to connect everything. Select customer to customer, state to state. Be careful. Otherwise the data will be diverted from one column to other column. Okay, we have connected these things. Great job. Now save this. Now head back to the workflow manager. Create a new workflow. Control C, Control V. Copy, paste. Okay. Now click on Task Developer. Create a new task. Again, copy this, paste this. There's something wrong. Leave it. Session underscore geography analysis. Perfect. Map this to this map of geography analysis. Okay. Click on OK. Created. Done. Drag this aside. Click on it and give the connections. Connections are very important. Don't forget. Click on OK. You don't need to truncate this, use this option for everything. I'm using this on purpose. If you're aware of informatica, you know why I'm enabling that option. Now go to workflow designer, bring your session here, link it, validate, refresh. You need to refresh the mapping whenever refresh or validate the mapping whenever you encounter any mistake or an error, so that it will refresh it. So you can go with the new workflow. Click on workflow and start workflow. I think there's a network error. Click on workflow, start workflow. Head to the workflow monitor. So this is the geography analysis. Succeed. Double click on it. We have got only one row. Not an issue. Geography analysis. Select some 182. What we have in this sample table. Okay. Whatever the name, leave it. We have got one row as output. Okay. So now the fourth task is also completed. Let's head to the last one. Create a new mapping. Last one is order processing. Copy it and paste it here. Okay. Bring up the source table. Okay. Now let's see what are the operations it need to undergo. Calculate the processing dates for each order by subtracting the order date from ship date and store it in a new column, processing dates. So we need to create a new column and new column called processing dates using the shipping date and order date. Okay. Categorize processing dates based on their tenure. We need to mention some, if it's less than 1 day, as an immediate delivery, and moderate and long-term delivery. Then we need to count the number of order falling within each categorizing processing dates. Okay. So let's get into this. First, we need to calculate processing dates. For this, we use expression transformation to the designer. This is the expression transformation. So what are all the columns we need in this is order date, ship date, mostly. So bring these both into this. Then these both are enough. So let's create a new columns here. Rename XP5, enter. So let's create new ports. So first one is processing days, mentioning it as pro days, which is an integer. Okay, it's a variable actually, where we'll be getting the the number of processing days, and this is the categorizing the processing days. So I'm naming it as cat pro days. So common naming convention. It's a fence string. We'll give it a precision as 50 as everything got just an output port. Okay, and in the processing dates we need to give a formula where it could calculate the difference between the shipping date and ordering date. Okay, for this formula, as we are dealing with the dates, click on dates, on date, and we have the date diff. Got this, and expression between shipping date, comma, order date, comma, DD. So this is an expression to calculate the difference between the shipping date and order date, or two different dates. So both these dates should be in this date and time format. The proper data type format is very important. Okay, we are done calculating the processing days. Now we need to categorize these processing days based on their number. So in the instructions it's mentioned, categorize these processing dates. If the processing day is less than 1, it should be mentioned as immediate delivery. If it is between 1 to 3, it should be mentioned as moderate delivery, and if it's more than 3, mention it as long-term delivery. Okay, let's write a SQL expression for it. It's IIF, open braces. So this is the column we have created, less than 1. I better recommend to copy this instead of typing. Copy, paste. Okay, it's done. Comma, hit enter again. IIF, processing days less than or equal to 1. Sorry, it should be greater than or equal to 1, and processing days less than or equal to 3, as it's mentioned as 1, 2, 3. It's a moderate delivery. And if it's more than 3, we don't need to write one more if loop. Just mention as it's the last one. Just mention as a long-term delivery. Control V, that's it. So close both the brackets. So this is the syntax. Validate. Perfect. Hit OK and hit apply. OK. So we are done with creating the new columns. So it's a variable code. We can't see this. Okay. So now, expression. Now we need to count the number of orders falling under each categorized processing dates. So for this we need to use an aggregator transformation. Click on aggregator, bring this here. Just the categorized processing days is enough here because it's the only thing we need. Rename this AGG5, enter, create a new column because we need to mention the number of orders. Okay, so that will be, I think, orders count. Okay, just create a new column, ord count. So this is of integer data type, just an output. and the formula will be count of star. So this will count everything that are under, okay, and group by categorize processing days. Okay, this is very important. Hit apply, click OK. I think we are done. Just bring out the target table onto the workspace and link them. Categorize processing days to this, and this one to this. That's it. Hit save. We are done. Arrange all. Perfect. Go to the workflow monitor, create a new workflow, copy the workflow name, and paste it. Auto processing. Be very careful while giving names to these workflows or mapping or tasks, because once created, or if you delete them to create a new one, the new thing won't come up, it will throw you an error. So I recommend you to be very careful while creating these stuff and naming them, because I have faced a lot of errors while creating these duplicate things. At the end it won't work, it won't reflect in the test samples. So you need to do it everything from the very beginning then. So order processing, map this to order processing, click OK. Done. Drag it aside, double click on it, click on mapping, connections and everything you are aware. Okay, okay, okay. Drag it, I'll just truncate this truncate option and apply. Okay. Now in the workflow designer, bring up your order processing session, link them, validate. That's done. Repository, save. Okay. Workflows, start workflow. It's done. So this is the order processing. Just click on. These are the 3 rows which we have got. Select. Okay. So these are the 3 rows we have. 17 orders under immediate delivery, 665 orders under long term, 3 under moderate. Okay. So I think we have executed all the tasks, completed. So target table. So after completing the challenge, run sample test file to get the sample score. So now go to this media folder. This is the sample test folder. Right click on it and click on run with PowerShell. So it will showcase so how many things have been passed through this. So if there are any errors, we can fix it. I hope mostly there are no errors. So let's wait. Don't press any key. So it had calculated all the tables and we can see the sample score is 100%. Okay. So all the tables have been fetched successfully. All the target tables have got the data after proper transformations. Okay, I'm not sure with what kind of sample score we could pass this, but if you follow this entire video slowly and do perform your tasks, you will also can get the 100% sample score and you could complete this hands-on assessment in time. Okay, now hit enter. That's gone. So these are the tables we have. So order count of 10. So each file will have the number of rows in it. Okay. So when you feel everything was completed, just close all the applications and refresh, and then click on submit and then confirm. You'll be looking at our loading screen and it will take for a while to show the completion status.